There's been a game that for a while I've been quite obsessed with. It's called Vending Machine Co., and it is developed by Rogue Duck Interactive. In this game, you run a vending machine company where you go from town to town, filling up vending machines with supplies such as food or stationary items, or even things like cards and toys. In order to progress throughout the game, you have to earn money, which is by people coming to the vending machines, purchasing things, and you collect the money yourself in order to buy more of the supply needed for your vending machines. As a fan of cozy games, I sunk a lot of hours into the demo of this game. I played, I think it was like 80 hours, and it was a lot of fun. I really liked progressing, and I really liked upgrading and buying more of the vending machines. So when the actual game came out, I was really excited. I wanted to make a video reviewing and playing through the game because I absolutely adored the demo. However, I wasn't going to buy the game just yet because I had some other things planned, but one of my lovely friends ended up buying it for me as a gift, so this is where I will shout out my friend. Thank you, Zen, for buying the game for me and being the driving force for this video being made. As you start up the game, the first thing you see is the map of the world. There's a lady in the corner of the map itself, and she provides the tutorial of the game, showing you what to do, where to go, and how to buy items. The map itself is very colourful. I like the use of bright and vibrant colours. It looks like something out of a picture book. The art style overall is quite simple, yet very nice, and you can see it in the development team's other games quite a bit. This seems to be their signature style. Looking around the map, I got to see all of the neighbourhoods like Otaku Alley, Temple Grounds, Harbour Market, Komorebi Homes, Ramen Street, University Ward, Salaryman Central, Metro Station, and Yakuza Row. There's also the market, and your house, which is where you stock everything. After looking at all of the neighbourhoods, I read through the tutorial a little bit and started with picking a permit in a different area. I ended up deciding on Otaku Alley, which is where I gave a very professional and very real signature to start my business. So after putting down my very legal signature, I finally got to go into Otaku Alley, which is an area that is heavily focused on anime and manga. It also has a really nice pink colour palette, which I enjoy a lot. I went to go and purchase my first vending machine, and I got the option to pick between renting for 7 days, 14 days, and 30 days. I did want to buy my first vending machine off the bat because I could do that in the demo, but it seemed that it was something you had to do after the tutorial. So I scrolled through all of the pretty designs and finally picked a cat one that was all green and it was very cute. Then I got to work on setting up my vending machine. Once it was all ready, the lady in the tutorial told me that I should go to the market, where I could purchase stuff for my business. The market has a ton of options to buy. There was also categories for hot items, which are things that would sell more and gather customer attention. There was also a ton of categories, but so far I was just stuck with toys and drinks. So I went and purchased a couple of items, including these anime characters, which I think looked like something from Naruto or Bleach. I'm not sure. I'm not very good at anime. There's also a couple of drinks options that I went and got. I bought 20 of each so that I could start stocking up beforehand. I went ahead and started putting everything in the truck and made sure not to let it tip over, because in the demo I remembered that if you stacked things a little bit off, it would all come crashing down. So, after I got everything onto the truck, I went to Otaku Alley, where originally I was going to stack everything just onto my first vending machine. However, I had the idea that I could rent another vending machine. So I went and had a look, and I discovered that not only could I rent another one, I could also buy it, which is what I did very quickly, so I didn't have to go back to renting it for 7 days at a time or 30 days at a time. After that, I looked at my original vending machine and found out I could also switch and buy it as well. I had the money for it, so basically both of those vending machines were permanent. Once I set up my new vending machine, I was told by the tutorial lady to start packing all of my items from my truck to the vending machines, which is what I did. As I'm stacking all of the items, I would quickly like to take a moment and highlight the music in this game. It is a very chill and relaxing style of music, similar to lo-fi. What you're hearing right now in the background is all music from the game. It kind of reminds me of study music, and I very much enjoy it. Anyways, moving back to the game, once everything was stacked and the prices were set, I had a look around Otaku Alley a bit more. This is where I came across a manga store where you could trade manga books for some sort of prize. I wasn't quite sure how it worked and I was a little bit confused, but I had a look at the manga covers themselves and I think a few of them were basically parodies, such as Free Ren, and I think one of them was an Orange High School Host Club parody, but I had a look and then I left before putting some things in my storage area and calling it a night. At the end of day one, I got to see all of the profit I made, which was about £200. When I finished looking at my receipt, I started on with day 2 of the game, and I took everything out of storage and started to put everything back in the vending machine so that I could get more customers buying more items and, getting more profits. This is also where I discovered the money mechanic, where you can collect the coins and notes from the vending machine and put them through this little machine that would count everything for you. I really, really like this mechanic. I think it's really satisfying seeing the profit you make go through this little machine and slowly the number goes up. It's also fun picking up the coins and everything. It's just a very simple and fun mechanic. After collecting some money from one of my vending machines, I went to go and buy some more supplies. I ended up getting some more drinks and some more anime figures. After buying some extra supplies, I went back to Otaku Alley and I had a look at the manga store again. I was still a little bit confused on what to do, but I think it's that you're given a couple of books and you have to trade them for new ones. But I couldn't figure it out, so I just went and called it a day. Once I called it a night, I checked the receipts and I saw that I made a bit more profit. At the start of day 3, something popped up at my house. It was a notice board with a bunch of little quests that had monetary rewards. There were a few that I'd already completed without even realizing, so I clicked and got a couple of hundred from it. However, there seemed to be multiple pages worth of rewards that I hadn't even gotten yet. After I got my rewards, I spent day 3 just refilling the vending machines and putting some new items such as the toddler milk. After that, I ended day 3. This is where I got the opportunity of a sponsor. I was able to pick between 3 options, which was a yogurt brand, some toys, and some red soda. I ended up picking the red soda, though I hadn't gotten it as a hot item yet, so I wasn't sure if I'd be using it anytime soon. Then I went ahead and, like the other days, I just went and refilled my vending machines for the day. When I checked on my vending machines, they were a bit dirty, so I started to clean them up before refilling them. This game is quite repetitive, but I think that's part of the charm. Me personally, I do really enjoy kind of repetitive games, but I can see where people would find this boring. I don't know if it's me though, but in the demo, I found myself enjoying it a lot more. I'm not sure why. Maybe it was just because it was the demo and it was the first time I was having a look at it. After I refilled my first vending machine, I noticed that the toddler milk needed to be warmed, so I looked into the upgrades and got the heating upgrade. I was considering on whether or not I should take some money out, but I already had some, so I just called it a night. The next day was very similar. I went to the market and I bought some more items, specifically the anime figures as usual. I was starting to wonder how to upgrade the different categories of items in the shop, but I decided not to worry about it and just buy some more raspberry juice. Day 5 was a lot of the same things, though I had also completed a couple more quests. The next day was a lot of the same. I went and filled up my vending machines. However, I noticed there was a mini game available. It was one of those games where you put fruit together to make the fruit bigger. Kind of like Tetris, where you put the blocks all down on the same line to make it disappear, but this was more like a merging game. I found this quite a bit fun, and I started playing a bit, seeing what fruit would turn into after you merged them. After I played a little bit, I ended up leaving the game and I just had a look around before completing some more quests and calling it a day again. After playing a few more in-game days of Vending Machine Co., I ended up finishing at about day 10, where I was done with the game overall and decided to take a break. And this is where I chose to conclude the kind of recording footage. And playing Vending Machine Co. is a lot of fun, however it does get quite repetitive with a lot of the same things going on, and that makes sense, and it does expand. I've been playing a little bit off camera, but there's not really a lot of stakes. Later in the game as I was playing, I discovered rival vending machines, and I feel like a way to make it a little bit more interesting and a bit more tension building is potentially having a rivalry system where the rival vending machine companies are a bit more aggressive. I'm not sure. I know there's been an update as well, so I can't say for certain if things have improved or if things haven't, but overall the game is quite fun, but it's just a bit repetitive, lacking kind of the meat of like progression that some other cozy games have. But I do think it's quite cute, I do think it's quite fun, and I would rank this probably a 7 out of 10. Yes, that would be my final ranking. Oh, I also should mention that I did come across a couple of glitches when I was playing the game where the truck would move by itself and I wouldn't touch the move truck button. So I'm not sure if that was just me on accident, but it was like definitely happening at some time, so I think the game needs a little bit more repolishing. But overall, I think it was very fun. And that concludes my video, my playthrough and kind of review of Vending Machine Co. I hope you all enjoy it.